Good morning, One Heart, One Mind, Center for Spiritual Living. I am going to kick us off with some music by Gary Lynn Floyd. Um, I think you'll like this. I do.
Be with you, love be with you, peace enfold you,
Can you hear that?
spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you.
Love be with you. And of course, we're talking about love this morning. That's kind of the theme. And it is so, like I said, there's a lot of really great music about love, the cosmic love, the personal love. Um, so Ralane is our practitioner of the day. So help me welcome her. I know she has some interesting stuff. She sent me some stuff to share. So good morning, Ralane.
Thank you. Well, I want to talk for a little bit and then we'll pray. I'm really excited about this topic of love, and I want to start with that. I love the great apes, okay? I have loved the great apes ever since I was young, and I have every single one of Jane Goodall's books, and Diane Fossey, and I've just had this thing about great apes. And there's a recent article that I just read, and it was very exciting for me. And so I want to talk about that because I feel that how we can love the great apes is really important right now because most of them are becoming extinct in the wild. And so it's really important for us to learn the importance of what it means to really love our wildlife. And so I want to talk about bonobos. Bonobos are a special type of great ape. And there was a great ape that was studied in a research lab, but a good lab in Scotland for years. And he understood about drinking juice from a glass. And he also understood that when the glass didn't have juice, he could have imaginary tea parties. And he actually preferred to have imaginary tea parties with the other scientists, and they would sit together and he would pick the empty cup. He knew which was full or empty, and he would particularly pick the empty cup. And so what they learned about bonobos is that they have imagination and they love to use their imagination. And I thought that was really funny. Do you want to show a picture of
Sure, of course.
Hansi?
Yep.
Ah, there he is.
Look at that.
Yeah, what a guy, huh? So this is Kanzi, and you can just imagine him having imaginary tea parties and how wonderful that is.
I think there's
What?
some other photos as well. Is this the tea party?
Yes, that's the tea party. That's where he's kind of that's where he's showing them the empty glasses and the
Oh, I see.
trying to really demonstrate that he could tell when the juice was empty or full. And he preferred the empty glasses when he did the tea parties.
So cute. He's
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, and here he is again. So he loves pretend play and he loves to use his imagination. And this is something that was really never understood about the great apes. So, and he passed away this year of old age. So, yeah. Thank you, Michelle.
Sure.
You can bring me back. So, so imagination is one way that the great apes express themselves. And what also they've learned with the chimpanzees is that they can do rational thinking. It's been believed that we as humans are the rational ones that, can think. But what they've learned is that chimpanzees in studies can be given evidence of something and to believe one way. And then when they learn that that evidence is false and not quite right, they can change their thinking and use the new evidence to show that they understand better making a choice. And this is something that was really thought only humans could do, but actually chimpanzees are very good at it. And this is something that they do regularly. And there was, I think it was bonobos again. They were testing their memory and recognition, and they showed photographs to the bonobos of friends that they'd had in their previous years. And they even showed one bonobo a picture of 25 years ago, a picture of his another bonobo. And he was able to look at that picture, and they'd also show a picture of someone he didn't know. And he just was able to really look at the friends that he had from 25 years ago and really know that that was his friend. And the other picture, he just, realized that was not someone he knew. And another really fascinating thing is orangutans. They watched this one in the wild, and they were saying that really it's interesting to study them in research labs, but it's not really how you basically learn about great apes. The way you really learn about great apes is in the wild. And that's difficult because of what's happening with our environment and everything. But they caught this orangutan. I forget his name. He had a kind of a cool name too. And he, had a big cut on his face. And so what he did was he picked some herbs that were antibacterial and healing, known from the indigenous people to really heal, and he put it all over his face. And within 3 weeks, his face was healed. So it believed that this was the first time they ever saw a great ape do this, that they actually can pick something from nature and then heal themselves. So I thought that was pretty fantastic. And so another thing that they learned is that all the different great apes have unique cultures in their groups where they live. So chimpanzees or orangutans have their own languages even in these different groups and cultures. Because sometimes it's thought, well, the only way to save the great apes is to get them all together and increase the numbers. But what they've learned is that it's like bringing immigrants from other countries and putting them in with other, people like here in the United States. They don't understand the language, they don't understand the culture, and it isn't necessarily for the best for their survival. And you could lose entire cultures and entire groups if they're all, you know, don't make it in a particular area. So it's learning that there's really complex things about great apes So the reason why I bring this up is because not only just because I love apes, but because it's important to understand them because it helps us love ourselves better. If we come from a place of egotism, that we're exceptional, that we're superior, we're never going to really fully understand and love ourselves because that's not really the truth. And the truth is that there's wonderful, intelligent beings in this world, and the great apes are the closest to us. And so I think truly by truly understanding them and loving them in a most exceptional way, that their intelligence is really important. It helps us understand ourselves so that we love ourselves in a unique, divine way where we can accept our humanness and divinity and not in, a superior way. Albert Schweitzer says it's very important to love every living creature that takes a breath. And Albert Schweitzer says that every life is it's important to have a wonderful life, including the great apes, including all of nature and wildlife, and including us. So let us truly love ourselves in this way, and I think we'll lift ourselves up into a higher level of being and lovingness. So let's pray. So we're going to let Kanzi lead the way here on this prayer, the Tea Party guy. That's the imagination. So we just know that there's just wonderful flow of imagination and intelligence and healing and just a reverberation of love, of equality, of compassion, of true understanding that there's such intelligence and um, amazing life expression on this planet in all different ways. And we just feel at one when we feel our quality, knowing that we're just united, we're just in unity, and we're respecting all beings, respecting all life, respecting all of God's creatures, all of God's gifts, all of God's blessings on this planet, and loving our planet as well. So let us feel that oneness. Let us feel that connection with these great apes, that ape that healed himself. How wonderful is that? And the rational thinking of chimpanzees and just the memory and recognition, just all the wonderful things that are part of us that are also part of the great apes. How wonderful it is to feel this unity and this oneness and this togetherness. And I'm so very grateful for this topic today. And I know Michelle will talk about something entirely different than what I'm talking about, but I believe there's a deep connection and an understanding that that the great apes are important and they help lead the way. So let us pray and know that this service is uplifting and spiritually deepening for us, and that we feel this love in everyday moments as we love ourselves deeper and all living beings, all sentient beings. And I know that I have such gratitude for being here this morning with all of you, such gratitude for being able to speak. It's just been an honor. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. I release it. It is done. It is so, and so it is. From stillness I awaken, from rest I rise renewed. The life within me blossoms in perfect time, and I am transformed, aligned, and alive in spirit. And so it is.
And so it is. Well, I think that the story of the bonobos is very much in line with what I, so I think that was perfect. Thank you for that so much. And I'm going to share a video. Let's hope I am knowing that it is not going to be glitchy. Let's see. Hang on. I'm not sure what is happening here. All right. We can all see this, right? I will play it. Can you see and hear this?
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
Oh, yes, it is. I don't know if I'm muted. I am not muted. So I just want to start again with good morning to my One Heart, One Mind family. I always love Sunday when I get to see everyone. Whoever shows up, it's perfect. And as always, whether you're here in real time, all of you wonderful people on this wonderful real-time Zoom session, or whether you're listening to the replay, I just want to welcome you into our loving community space, because that's really what it is. It's just a loving community space. And this morning, obviously, we're talking about love. And the talk title is Love is a Daily Commitment, which sounds like spiritual practice, doesn't it? And it is. However, love is just so many things. In fact, love is everything. As Ralane reminded us, it's every creature, every living thing on our beautiful planet and in the universe. Our Our founder, Ernest Holmes, I love this line. I've used it fairly often, but he said it very succinctly. He said, "Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself." This is love. This is the spiritual principle, first cause itself. And we know that in our oneness with this first cause, love is our identity. It's who we are. And then love as a spiritual practice is the way that we choose to live. It is our decision, as Daniel Nahmad just told us. The way we serve the presence of love in all of our human affairs. And how we live in service to the presence of love makes it a daily commitment, which is such an interesting topic because as a cosmic principle, it is just so deeply rooted in our personal life as well. So it is this big, bold everything, and it is how we express everything in our dailiness, little moments of love expressed. So let's start by talking about love as a universal spiritual principle. I mentioned before, and I've mentioned often in my talks and the things that I say to you guys, that one of the things that attracted me to Science of Mind in the first place was the idea that Holmes mentioned on the very first page of the Science of Mind text. He wrote, we look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible form into the invisible, the cause. And then he goes on to explain why he thinks this is true. Because science doesn't rely on opinion. It relies on a government of laws, he said, based on universal principles. This is the big cosmic piece. And then he goes on to add that he thinks that what science is missing, he called these the intangible values that science sometimes misses the mark on, the aspects that spirituality provides. But he also cautioned that spiritual revelation must always keep faith with the reason and law of science. So to quote him directly, he said, I'm going to mess it up if I don't look. He said, oh, that's the old one. Sorry, I should have had this ready. He said, while intuition is ever spreading its wings for greater and greater flights in human consciousness, I would imagine, science must justify faith in the invisible. Yeah, so we need to have the best of both worlds, the laws and the intuitive knowing. I was reading something about Einstein where many of his theories came from his imagination and just visiting that invisible realm where an idea would pop out and hit him in the head. In other words, both science and spirituality are trying to answer the same questions from different perspectives, from different viewpoints, and both are valid. And my personal perspective is that within mankind itself, all of humanity, there's this intuitive knowing that's always been there because we're one with Source. There's something in us, within us now, that knows more than just our five senses can perceive. The truths that ancient wisdom traditions have intuitively known for millennia are now being proven by modern science. How did we know? Because we're one with infinite truth. And specifically quantum physics is where ancient traditions are being validated. And I believe that we just live in this really interesting and wonderful time of discovery. It's kind of a really cool time to be alive. So when I think about the universal principle of love as a foundation for everything, my mind cannot help but travel to the idea of the Big Bang. And we know that there's this broad scientific agreement that the Big Bang does describe the early years, the early development of our universe itself. And it also agrees that it wasn't really an explosion, but just a moment when the universe began to expand from an incredibly hot, dense state, and it gave rise to all of time and space and matter. But here is the place where I think science and spirituality intersect, and where we can know love as the as the foundation. I'm trying to talk too fast. As the foundational universal principle. And maybe this is a little bit of a leap for me to make, but I can't help but thinking it has merits that while scientists understand the unfolding of the universe remarkably well, the ultimate origin, or what preceded the Big Bang, if anything, is still a very open question, not one that I think can be explained by science alone. So I came up with this origin story, and I offer it for your consideration. I think it marries the intangible with the tangible. So take what resonates with you and just rewrite the rest to fit what you imagine to be true. So anyway, here's my creation story. In the beginning, before time, before space, before even silence, there was only one. Not a being somewhere, but being itself, infinite, invisible, without form, yet full, completely full of potential. And at the very core of this infinite presence was love. Not love as an emotion, but love as the deep impulse to express itself, to give, to become, a fullness so complete that it could not remain unexpressed. And I think this is the essence of what Ernest Holmes meant when he said that love points the way and law makes the way possible. And so we might imagine that in the very beginning, love was the cause, and law, the creative process of the universe, was the way love was expressed. And from this infinite love came a movement, the formless, knowing itself into form, the moment that science calls the Big Bang. We can imagine that that wasn't an explosion of chaos, but an outpouring of love, a kind of a radiant release of energy, space unfolding, time beginning, matter emerging from the invisible, and law setting it all into motion, responding to love's impulse. Think about it. Every particle, every atom born from this original outpouring, stars ignited, galaxies spinning into being. And over billions of years, that same love unfolding, evolving, expressing until it became conscious of itself. And as you, as me, and as every other living being, everything that exists, all expressions are from that first movement. We are the universe knowing itself as love, not separate from it, but just extensions of it, expressions of it. And even now, the Big Bang isn't over. Creation is still happening in every thought we think, every choice we make, every moment we choose love over fear, because love was not just the beginning, it's the cause, and the law is the way of everything. It is still being created. Life is still unfolding through each and every one of us. And this is why I feel that love is first cause, and that love itself is the purpose and the fulfillment of life. It's the reason, it's the why, if you will. And if this is true, if love is not only the origin of the universe, but the essence of who we are, then we're empowered to continue the process of creation, the expression of love, through our humanity, because here we are in form. And there are so many ways that we can do that. And I know for myself, some of us we're raised and kind of steeped in an atmosphere of love from a very early age, and some of us weren't. But either way, we all have had to learn to bring that atmosphere of love into our human activities, whatever our primary original experiences have been, especially if we want to make it a daily commitment, because it's so easy to get caught up in the noise of the world. We talked about that last week. And for most of us, our experience probably falls somewhere in the middle. I know for me personally, the early period of my life taught me the meaning of love. It taught me its resonance, the feel of it. And I feel deeply grateful that I experienced that kind of love at a young age. But truth is, even when we don't, it's never too late to steep ourselves in the essence of who we are. That deep cosmic love is already in us. We're extensions of the same love that sparked the universe. And we don't have to earn love. It is inherent within us. It's literally who we are. So while the experience of love at an early age did shape my life and give me a foundation that I still stand on today, that doesn't mean that my life or any of our lives are all rainbows and unicorns. There are always real challenges, real messiness, but love is always there. And because it is there, our lives have a kind of meaning and a direction. And the presence of love gives us a compass, an emotional compass, a moral and a practical compass. You know, but that doesn't mean we don't get off track. I did. But I had that foundation to get me back to love and love's calling. And we can all nurture that kind of loving foundation, no matter what our past experiences have been. Science of Mind 101, the past holds no precedent. Every moment is a moment of a new creation. I kind of grew up in an interesting dynamic. My mother was this devout Catholic, and my father was basically agnostic. My mother had no trouble expressing love. I know a lot of you knew her. She had absolutely no problem being the presence of love. My father, on the other hand, didn't really have any reference point for love at all. He was a very abused child, but he knew love. He felt love. In fact, he married love. So I had this interesting dynamic growing up. I received two very different but equally powerful gifts. From my mother's influence, I was steeped in the language and expression of love. From my father, I learned how to dig a little deeper, to look a little deeper, to find love. And in all honesty, that too is a gift, because it taught me that love doesn't always show up the way we expect it to. It isn't always obvious. It doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes it wears the mask of something a little rough around the edges, but it's always there. Maybe just under the surface, but it's there. And in our humanness, sometimes we might pull back out of fear because it doesn't feel safe to love or to even recognize love, but it's always there. And what I've come to understand is that love isn't just something we feel when it's easy or when it's visible. Love is something we learn to recognize, something we choose, just like Daniel Nahmad's song. It's a decision. We choose to reveal it, something we commit to seeing and to being, even when it's not obvious. That's how we make it a daily commitment. We uncover it because we know it's there. It's our nature. And this is where love becomes more than just an idea, more than something we think about during our times of meditation and prayer and spiritual contemplation, more than something we just talk about on a Sunday morning. This is where love becomes a practice, because while love may be our divine nature, our nature, it isn't always our habit. It doesn't always easily slip itself into our daily interactions, because sometimes expressing love is simple and easy. And as we all know, sometimes it's challenging because we have to practice standing in the presence of love so that it becomes our state of being. And then it's easy to bring into any situation. Then it becomes a habit to respond from love rather than just react. And I know this is a tall order. We're all human. It's not always easy, but I know from my own life that it is completely possible. So here's an example from my own life. So I recently had a conversation with someone that our relationship has not always been easy. And in our conversation, there was this moment. It wasn't a big dramatic moment, it was just an ordinary human moment when she spoke to me in a way that felt sharp and a little bit dismissive. And at first, I wanted to react, right? You probably know that moment, where you feel yourself tightening and you want to defend yourself when you want to be right. You want to match their energy, the energy that's coming at you. But I caught myself. And it wasn't because I was trying to be spiritual or anything. It was because I've learned that what happens when I react instead of take that pause, in that pause, you can bring yourself back to love, and stop trying to fix the situation or correct someone or win, but just kind of stay present. It gives you a minute to soften, to listen maybe just a little deeper, to rise up in a little bit of compassion. And what I realized in that moment was this wasn't really about me at all. It was about an expression of the other person's frustration, their pain, something that they haven't been able to speak. And for me in that moment, I really had to look deeply to uncover the love. Love didn't look like in that moment, it didn't look like agreeing. It looked like not adding more harm to what already seemed painful or hurting. And and honestly, nothing dramatic happened. I mean, the clouds didn't part and there was no, choir of angels, but something shifted in me. Because when love is what is missing, choosing to be the one who brings it shifts everything. It softens the energy and it kind of reshapes the field that we're experiencing together. Because, where our energy is meeting is that field. And it might just look like that momentary pause, just long enough to rise up enough into compassion instead of wanting to be right. Sometimes it's speaking truth, but doing it gently and from love, rather than moving into self-protection. Oh, no, you don't. And these aren't grand gestures. They're just small daily choices, and they're not always easy, but they matter. I'm always trying to think of good metaphors for this stuff. And I think it's a little bit like walking into a dark room. You don't argue with the darkness. You don't analyze it. You don't try to push it out. You simply turn on the light. And the thing about the light is that it doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait for darkness to deserve it. It just shines because that's the nature of light. That's the nature of love. Choosing love works exactly the same way. When we walk into a moment where there's tension, oh, makes me almost want to tear up, or there's fear, or there's misunderstanding, we can match the darkness or we can be the light. Not because it's easy, but because it's who we are. And honestly, there are so many opportunities to bring the light during our regular walking around, waking human days. Sometimes choosing love just looks like staying present in a difficult conversation instead of shutting down. And sometimes it looks like letting go, releasing, oh gosh, I'm perfect at this, but it can also release the need to replay and to rehearse an old story that, I'm spinning in. And when I do that, I make space for something new, for something freer to emerge. Sometimes choosing love is as simple as how we see someone, looking past the role they're playing in that moment. I often do that when I see a homeless person, look past what I'm seeing on the outside and know that there is a child of God, an essence of being there. and remembering something deeper about them, even if it's easy to let that go by in the moment. Sometimes choosing love just looks like setting a boundary, not from anger, not to push someone away, but from a deep respect for what's true and what's healthy. Because love doesn't mean we abandon ourselves, love includes us. Because as metaphysicians, we know that every time we choose love, something's set in motion and law responds. It has to, it's its nature. Creation continues through us. And I don't know about you, but I want love to be the cause, always, because law will always be the way, and the universe will always unfold with what I'm holding in consciousness. Consciousness precedes form and experience. That's the way it works. So maybe the Big Bang isn't just something that happened 13.8 billion years ago. Maybe it's happening every time we choose love over fear. Every time we remember who we are, every time we make the commitment to live from that place. And that doesn't mean we become passive or allow harm. It means we become intentional. Because love isn't weakness, it's creative power. And we can direct it purposefully, meaningfully. I was looking back on something I wrote several years ago. It's actually a project that I'm still working on. Those that lay dormant for a while and then you pick them up. And it's a project that's called What Love Knows. And I found it when I was writing my talk. And I want to read a piece of it for you. So let me do that. All right, let's see. Here's Here's what I wrote, oh, so many years ago. Love never misses a beat because it's the composer, the instrument, the musician, and the listener. Love knows the nuance of every vantage point. It's in every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every thought in the infinite mind of God. I can feel the pulse of love through my body, beating my heart, drawing my breath, as I allow it to speak the language of love through me. Love is the structure and the purpose of creation itself. And I know this is true. And and that we participate in this creation. We don't become love, we are love. We remember love, we recognize love, and we choose love again and again and again. We choose to let love live as us, not someday, not only when it's easy, but as a daily commitment in this moment, right here, right now. And so it is. So I usually do a little prayer. I almost feel like that was a prayer. but, but let's just do this. Let's draw ourselves into that cosmic reality of love itself. It is all that is. It's the big picture, the universal principle. And it is expressing right here, right now, in this moment, in my heart, in your heart, right where we are. And law catches fire with it. It's a new Big Bang every moment. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for the many ways that I see love expressing, big ways, small ways, hard to find ways, ones that you have to really dig deep for. I'm grateful for the way that I know to show up as who I am in God's love. So for this, I just say thank you. I allow it to be. And we signify our agreement by saying, and so it is. So it is. So we're all about love today. Yeah. Love is a really interesting topic, and I enjoy it. So, Rob, are you doing the, okay.
Yowzer,
Yeah, all
that's
right.
me. Hey, that was great. And
I'm glad you enjoyed.
I want to thank you, but I want to thank everybody who's here because of this involves keeping One Heart, One Mind going involves two things. It involves participation and it involves our financial support. And I know everybody here is doing both of those. So thank you for that because I really like being a member of this club. And this club exists because of all of you. So that's how you can contribute if either Venmo or send a bunch of money to Michelle, either way. And there is
Yes,
there is
there is.
a
All right, here we are.
sacred giving,
Affirmation. Here we go.
yeah, that. Which says, I give with a grateful heart, knowing that Spirit is the source and substance of all supply. I joyfully participate in the circulation of abundance. My offering blesses the world and returns to me multiplied. So why not? I am grateful and I am prosperous. And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. You do so much for us. You keep the books. I just want to give you a shout out. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of us, but just wanted to give you a shout out. So let's see. This week we have our Monday night. Um, we have our Monday night prayer group, which is always fun. And then we have our Tuesday class, which we've really been enjoying this book. It's been a very good dialogue. We've been having a lot of really lively and interesting discussions. And then is it Wednesday, Ralane, that we have our Joy's expectancy of being yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Joyous expectancy of being me is this
Oh,
Wednesday
me.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay. And just FYI, if for some reason I forget to send out the link, which I'm telling myself I will not do that. It's the prayer link. It's the same link we use on Monday night. It's the same link that we use for Relane's Wednesday night prayer group. So it's that link. So if for some reason you're looking for it, look for that. And then yeah, I think that's about it for yeah, that's about it for me for today. So I think what I'll do is ask Rob to do the benediction, and then I have a closing song for us.
All righty then. Okay, so let us settle back and become aware of the presence and let it in. Let the awareness of that presence fill you. I am letting it fill me right now, and I am knowing that this is a great experience for everyone. I am knowing that this experience here this Sunday morning is benefiting us going forward into the week and going forward into our lives, and that each one of us is improving, is more appreciative of life, more celebratory of life, because this is good stuff. This is how we live, and this is information for us to ponder, and it is just delightful. I am so grateful that both Ralane and Michelle, when they speak, you can see the love in their eyes. You can feel the love in the words that they selected to impart to us. And just, it is inspiring. And I am inspired, and I am knowing that everyone is inspired to live a better, more fulfilling life starting right now. I am so grateful that this is true. I release my word, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Oh, thank you. It was beautiful. Very sweet. All right, so that's the wrong one. Let me give me a second to get the right link up here. This is Karen and Karen Drucker, our old friend Karen Drucker. And this is not a video, so I am just going to share my sound so we can see each other's beautiful faces. And here we go. hear the music?
With love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with love. Anything is possible. With love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with love. Anything is possible. With faith, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with faith. Anything is possible. With hope, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with hope. Anything is possible. Oh, it's possible. Oh, with love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with love. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Oh, with love. Anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost with love. Anything is possible. Is possible. Possible. Anything is possible. With love and faith, it's possible. With trust and hope, it's possible. Anything is possible. With love, anything is possible.
Anything. All right, my friends, I am going to stop our recording now.